I think it's going to work. I think it'll be fine.
All right. I'm more worried about the can than anything.
Nah, the can will be fine. It'll be tight. Judo, judo, judo.
Okay. All right. Shooter ready.
Yep.
Stand by.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Thanks for swinging by. I sure do appreciate it. If this is your first time with the channel, my name is Mark.
Oh, hi Mark.
Welcome to Fit and Fire. Let's get into this video. This time we're going to be taking a look at a number of different LPVOs, and these are going to be ones that I personally recommend. Now, there are a number of different manufacturers of low power variable optics, and while I'm not able to necessarily look at all of them right now, I'll be looking at more of them in the future, but as it stands, in June 2025, these are going to be the top 5 that I recommend, and it's going to span across a very large budget. What I'm trying to say is I'm going to have optics that are in everybody's budget, starting off with a very low end that I think is a viable one, up to a very, very expensive one as well. With that being said, I am going to have 2 honorable mentions, and the reason why those are going to be honorable mentions is because I haven't had an opportunity to actually get one in my hands and put it on a rifle and shoot it like in a 2-gun competition or something to that effect. Today I'm out here with my Zastava M90 sighting in this LPVO, which we will be talking about in this video, for a carbine match that I'm going to be shooting tomorrow. With my filming and editing schedule, I'm not going to be able to get that footage into this video, but I do have some footage of this one already, so we're definitely going to be talking about that one. Also, I'm not getting paid to say anything good, bad, or indifferent about any of these optics. I am just going to tell you what I think about them, why I think I would recommend them to people, and then allow you guys to decide. In addition to that, if you have an LPVO that's not on this list, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. If it's working for you, by all means, continue to use it. I hopefully will provide you with some information that may leave you guys kind of interested in some of these other ones. And if you are, I'm going to have plenty of information down in the pinned comments. So if you guys are looking for more information as far as their specs goes, you can find that down there. It's also going to contain some other information like this video's sponsors, and that's going to be Vortex and ACSS sites. Those are 2 companies that have been sponsoring this channel and my podcast. If you guys are interested in picking up some Vortex jeans, which I'm wearing right now, or maybe some gloves, some backpacks, or something like that, I have a 15% discount code. In addition to that, if you guys are interested in some upgraded iron sights, you can check out ACSS sites. They have a 20% discount with the code LARP. All of that information in the pinned comment, so go check that out. Let's get into this video. All right, so the first LPVO that I'm going to be talking about is this one right here. This is a 1:6x24 from CV Life, and they have been a company that's been on Amazon for a very long time right now. I have this on a budget build. It's a PSA like Freedom 15 mid-length gas system that I'm just using to do a lot of different testing. I don't have to worry about putting high round counts through some of my more expensive rifles. And with that being said, I went ahead and put this optic on this rifle because I have actually done some minor stress testing on this particular optic. Essentially what I've done is I've set it up against the tailgate of my truck and I've pushed it over a couple of times onto the optic to see that if it will hold 0. I've also gone the 704 tactical route and taken a water bottle and beat it up a little bit as well, and I have found that it holds 0, which is really, really surprising. In addition to that, it's going to come with a throw lever and a cantilever mount all for about $120. Now, that all depends on when and where you buy it, but typically on Amazon, you're going to be able to find these for around that $120 mark. So if you guys are interested in checking this out, I have more details again in the pinned comment, and I'm going to reiterate that through this video, but I think that this is a pretty decent LPVO to start off with. If you're strapped for cash, you need something on a real low budget build, then this is a viable option. In addition to that, this is going to have a bullet drop compensated reticle that is a second focal plane. In this video, I'm not really going to hash out which is better, first focal plane or second focal plane. I'm going to give my opinion at the end of the video, but needless to say, for an inexpensive option, second focal plane is going to do you just fine. You just have to remember, if you're going to use the BDC, you're going to have to crank this all the way up to 6 power to ensure that you are getting the correct ranges at those bullet drops. One of the other things that I found with this is, while it doesn't necessarily look like it, if you remove these turret caps here, you will see that the internal turrets are almost identical to the OG 1:6x24 from Primary Arms. So I would suspect that this is built in the same factory as Primary Arms' old optics. So that's pretty interesting. So you should, at least I feel that you should expect pretty decent quality out of this particular optic. And that's my first choice. Before we get into the number 2 choice, I do want to talk about 2 honorable mentions, and that is going to come in right around that $250 to $300 mark, depending, again, when and where you buy. The first one is going to be the Sig Sauer 1:6 Tango. I have seen that particular optic go out the door at my local shop, American Cash Exchange. I'm at their range right now, so I do appreciate all of their support of the channel. But one of the things that I do is I hang out there quite a bit, and I pay attention to what is going out the door on a regular basis. The Sig Sauer 1:6 Tango is one of them, and it comes in usually around that $250 to $275 mark, depending, of course, when and where you buy it. But I feel that that is a very strong contender for a kind of, I would say, high value sub $500 LPVO. The next one, which is another great honorable mention, is going to be the Vortex Strike Eagle. Again, from my perspective at American Cash Exchange, I see a lot of those go out the door, even more so than the Sig Sauer Tango. And I feel that that is got a lot of things going for it. Pretty decent price point, around that $300 mark. And it's also going to have brand recognition with the Vortex name. So I would say that that is another viable kind of quote-unquote sub 500 budget quality LPVO. From there, we're going to talk about this one. This is going to be the Primary Arms SLX 1:10 second focal plane Nova. Now, the reason why I like this one so much is because not only is it a 1:10 that's going to come in sub $500, talking about $450 mark, it's also going to have a throw lever that's included, which is really nice. And what they have done is they've taken the ACSS reticle and just improved upon it by removing the chevron and adding a very high-vis red dot instead of the chevron. So in a very bright sunny day, you can turn this on maximum brightness and have a very bright red dot instead of a chevron. So that helps you kind of locate that crosshair a lot easier, and you use this more so for like competition or something to that effect. In addition to it, it's going to also have a bullet drop compensator that you can use to, kind of dial in the type of ammunition that you like. And it's going to have subtensions for 300, 400, 500, 600 yards, which is something else that I really do like as well. It does have the Primary Arms name, so they've been making LPVOs for well over a decade, I think, at this point. So you're going to have a really good quality LPVO, and one that I would highly recommend, especially if your budget is sub $500. All right, number 3 on this list is going to be this particular LPVO, and this one is one that a lot of people probably don't even know about. It came highly recommended from my buddy Greg over at OG's Danger Show, and since he recommended, I reached out to them, asked him if I could get a sample of this to take a look at it, and this is actually really good. They have a couple of different options as far as the magnification ranges, so you could do like a 1:8 or a 1:10. This particular one is the Gunnr Odin 1:10 low power variable optic, and I really do like this one for a number of different reasons. Number one, it's going to come in, depending on which model you buy, somewhere between that $600 to $1,000 mark. Again, depending on which one you buy, when and where you buy it, so on and so forth. But if you're buying it directly from the Gunnr website, typically you're going to find this 1:10 option right around that $799 mark. I do have a discount code that you guys could capitalize on down in the pinned comment, but I will say that this one has a lot of things going for it for the price point. Number one is obviously it's a 1:10 magnification range, and instead of having a bullet drop compensator, it has holdovers in MOA. So if you are the type of person that likes MOA, you could definitely use this, and instead of having to worry about trying to calculate what each subtension is for the bullet drop compensator, you have a viable option for the MOA holdovers, and then you can also use the turrets to dial as well. And these are really nice because these are locking turrets. So has really nice audible clicks on it. You can dial up to whatever you need it to do, and then put the crosshairs directly on your target, and you should be good to go. And that's exactly what I have found testing this not only on an AR, but also this Zastava M90 that I'm setting up for a carbine match tomorrow. In addition to that, if you purchase this at that, I think it's like $799 mark, you're also going to get a cantilever mount. It does come with a throw lever, and it comes with a really nice kind of hard shell case that you could repurpose to use as like a camera box or something for your sensitive items, and just redo the foam inserts and stuff like that. You could repurpose that very easily because this is going to be mounted on your rifle. So it does have a really good thing going for it when it comes to the, I would say, $600 to $1,000 price range. Again, a lot of people don't know about them, and it has a number of different feature sets that I really do like. The last thing that I will say when it comes to this is, of the two that I'm going to talk about under $1,000, this is going to be my number one recommended LPVO because A lot of people don't know about it. B, it's pretty high quality. C, it has a lot of features. And the most important thing for me is locking turrets that you can easily use to dial. So that's one of the reasons why I like this one so much. Okay, number 4 on the list is one that is going to be a close second to the Gunnr Odin. And the reason why it is in second place is because instead of it being a first focal plane like the Gunnr Odin, this is going to be a second focal plane. And that'll come up key here in just a second. But this is going to be a really good optic for under $1,000. I think this comes in at $899, this particular model. And the reason why I like it so much is because this is not only a 1:10 by 28 second focal plane LPVO, but it's also going to have the ACSS Griffin M10S reticle, which is going to be a mil-dot Christmas tree style reticle that allows you to use the MILRAD holdovers, I guess if that's what I'm trying to say, for you to put this on just about any type of rifle that you want. As you see it right now, this particular setup is the CMMG Descent in 338 arc, and utilizing this optic with this reticle, I was able to use the Garmin Zero to figure out my velocities, put that into my ballistic calculator, and then easily use the holdovers to reach out and touch a target at 300 yards using 307 grain subsonic loads. So needless to say, this is a very capable optic that could be used on a number of different types of rifles, regardless if that is going to be an AR-15, an AK, even an AR-10, or maybe even a bolt gun. something to that effect. You can utilize that mil dot reticle very easily just by using the velocity and the ballistic calculations to figure out your dope. And that's one of the reasons why I like it so much. I have it at number 4 because of the price point, but realistically, this is a viable contender against the Gunnr Odin. I put it second in my recommendations because it's a second focal plane. The Gunnr Odin is a first focal plane, so I can use the magnification wherever I want, whether it's 1 power all the way up to like 6, 8 power, or even 10 power on the Odin. But with this one, I'm going to have it at max magnification for me to be able to use the dope. Unless I were to utilize the turrets to dial in. That's not as easy with this one because of the caps, whereas the Gunnr Odin has the ability to, unlock, turn, lock them very easily. This, you'll have to unscrew and then make your adjustments if you want to do that. For this, I'd say just use your holdovers and use a ballistic calculator. And that's one of the reasons why not only do I like it so much, but one that I would recommend, especially if you're looking for something that has maybe a little bit better glass, a little bit more name recognition. This is definitely going to be one of my favorites. All right, so the last LPVO that I'm going to talk about is this one right here. This is going to be the Vortex Razor. And I'm kind of leaving it a little vague because there are a number of different setups for this particular LPVO. You've got a Gen 2 that has a number of different magnification ranges, whether it be 1 to 6 or 1 to 8. And then you have the Gen 3, which has a 1 to 10 option as well. The great thing about the Gen 2s is you're still getting really good high quality glass that is going to be very, very nice, and something that you could put on your BCM, your Daniel defenses, if you're the type of person that wants to spend just as much money on your optic as you do with your rifle, because there is a kind of a cult following when it comes to that type of mentality. And I don't necessarily disagree with it. As you can see right now, I have it on a Kel-Tec RDB, and there's a reason for that. We're going to get into that in a separate video. But realistically, this is going to be the Vortex Razor Gen III 1 to 10 with EBR reticle, and this is one that I wanted to make sure I had in my collection that I could use to compare with all of the other ones that I'm going to look at, not only in this video but in subsequent videos on down the road. The glass on this is extremely good. I really, really do like the glass on this. The only downside to this particular optic, so far what I have found, is on 1 power, I kind of get a little bit of a fisheye effect. And that has to do with the fact of it having such high quality glass that is going to give you really crisp images at 10 power without a lot of parallax issues as well. That's my understanding as far as how this is particularly set up, but at 10 power, it is extremely nice. The other thing that I really do like is the fact that this does have illuminated reticle that is daytime bright. So in the middle of the day, you can set this on high power and twist it to 11, lock it into place, and it's going to be bright enough for you to find that basically dot at 1 power, as well as still being bright enough for you to find it on a very sunny day, whether that's using it in competition or whatever the case may be. So that's one of the reasons why I really do like this one. Now, the other thing that differs with this one from the other LPVOs that I've talked about so far is the fact that this one you will have to buy a throw lever. The other 4 that I've talked about has a throw lever included into its magnification ring, but this one unfortunately does not. So that's an added expense that you're going to have. However, you are paying for brand recognition, you're paying for extremely good glass, you're going to also pay for really good fine dial movements in this. So that's another great thing about it. And yeah, so needless to say, this is going to have a lot of good quality components to it. And of course, Vortex is going to honor the warranty regardless. So that's something I really also do like. Okay, so the top 3 things that I would recommend to consider when purchasing an LPVO is number 1, what are you going to be using it for? Is this for home defense? Is it for hunting? Is it for competition shooting? That's going to kind of steer you into a category of which type of LPVO that you're going to want to buy. The second thing that I would highly recommend is figure out how much money do you actually have to spend on your scope. If you're in a certain budget range, you're also going to need to ask yourself, does that LPVO come with mounting solutions, whether it be a cantilever mount or scope rings? However you need to mount it to your particular rifle, you're going to need to make sure that you add that into your budget. Some of these come with cantilever mounts, some of them don't, so definitely keep that in mind. Finally, you're going to need to consider whether or not you want second focal plane or first focal plane. There's pros and cons for both, for sure, and it really boils down to exactly what you're going to be using this optic for. If you're going to be using it for competition shooting that you know that you're either going to be at 1 power or at maximum power, regardless if that's 6, 8, or 10, then a second focal plane probably will do you just fine because you're going to have the same size of reticle regardless of what power you're going to dial this into, whether it be 1 power or maximum power. Just be mindful that if you do use a second focal plane with a bullet drop compensated or a MOA or mill holdover style reticle, you're going to have to remember to dial this all the way to maximum power to ensure that your holdovers are going to be accurate for the distance that you're shooting. So that is something you're going to need to keep in mind. However, if you're the type of person that's going to run competition and you know that you're going to have a red dot that's piggybacked on the cantilever mount and you're going to use that red dot for targets up to 50 yards and then you're going to use the LPVO for targets that are 300, 400, 500 yards, one of the things that you can do is set up your red dot, zero it however you want it, and then instead of having it set up at max power while you're searching for a target through like a paper towel tube, you can dial that back to like 5 power. That gives you a wider field of view, as you were, and allow you to find those targets a lot easier, quickly get shots on target, still being able to use the holdovers or bullet drop reticle that you have in your LPVO. That's one of the great things about first focal plane. The pro when it comes to second focal plane is typically, not always, but typically your image in the scope is going to be a little bit brighter because you're not having to worry about different types of internal mechanisms to keep that reticle small or large, depending on what magnification you are. The reticle is just going to be the same size, so there's less moving parts inside the reticle, which then allows for more light transmission through it. So they typically seem a little brighter than a first focal plane. However, again, you're going to have to use maximum magnification for your holdovers, regardless of what reticle you have. So those are the top 3 things that I would say you would need to consider before you purchase a LPVO. Personally, for me, again, I think the sweet spot for a lot of the different LPVOs that I've seen is going to be the Gunnr Odin. I really do like that one because of all the different feature sets that it has, but it is kind of at a price point that could make or break a rifle build if you're looking for something somewhat a little bit more budget friendly. There's other options as we've talked about in this video as well. So let me know what you guys think. Sound off in the comment section down below. Did I get the list right? Are there ones that I'm missing? And if there are, please let me know. Sound off in the comment section because those are ones that I'm going to definitely want to take a look at. Again, this is not a slight against any of the other LPVOs that are out there. It's just the ones that I have experience with, the ones that I like, and the ones that I would recommend as of right now, based off of my experience. But I would love to hear what you guys have to say. Again, tons of information in the description and the pinned comment, so swing by and take a look at those. I would really appreciate it. It's a great way to support the channel. And one thing that I would ask you guys, if I've done a good job, please consider subscribing to the channel, thumbs up, comments, and sharing this video is one of the best ways to support the channel. Really do appreciate you guys swinging by and checking things out. As always, freedom through strength. We'll catch you guys next time. Bye, y'all.